Right now in this very moment, while you hesitate, while you calculate pros and cons, while you wait for the stars to align and send you some cosmic permission to move, someone with less talent, less intelligence, less experience is already winning. They're closing the deal, earning the promotion, commanding the room, capturing the attention of the very person you secretly long for. Why? The answer is not comfort food, it's a knife. A knife that cuts through the illusions you've clung to for years. They win because they appear certain. Confidence, even if it's borrowed, faked, or delusional, is currency. And the world, in all its cold indifference, does not kneel for truth or justice, it kneels for conviction. They walk like the world owes them everything, and others, hypnotized by that energy, believe it, follow it, reward it. Meanwhile you, the one with the nuanced mind, the deep insight, the overdeveloped sense of timing and empathy, you wait. You wait for the perfect words, the perfect signs, the perfect feeling. You wait, and they take what could have been yours. This is not another motivational sermon dipped in dopamine and sprinkled with cheap dopamine. This is a dissection, a psychological autopsy of what you've been doing wrong. Discipline, not inspiration. Strategy, not hype. Mental warfare, not comfort. So if you're tired of cotton candy advice and finally ready to assassinate the servant inside you, stay. And drop this in the comments. I am the king and my law commands. Because from this moment forward, we move like sovereigns. Let's begin. The enemy is not out there, the enemy is within. It's not your boss, not your ex, not your critics. It's the obedient version of you, the conditioned self, the internal servant, the voice that asks for permission before speaking, that flinches at judgment, that hesitates at action and apologizes for ambition. It has your voice, but not your will. It's the child in you, trained to obey, trained to seek approval, trained to shrink. It's the loyal dog inside you that flinches when someone raises their eyebrow. It's the ghost of every time you heard, "Don't be too loud. Don't be arrogant. Don't upset anyone." That voice is not you. It is your programming. And if you don't kill it, it will rule you for the rest of your life. You will forever play the role others wrote for you, useful, safe, forgettable. That is not sovereignty, that is slavery. Machiavelli did not whisper. He did not ask to be understood. He moved, he acted. He let others catch up if they could. He did not beg for power. He claimed it, because he understood the most brutal truth. Those who ask do not deserve. Power is never granted. It is taken. And if you're still waiting for the world to approve of your evolution, you're not evolving, you're still begging. So this is your invitation to declare war, not on the world, but on the compliant self within you. A civil war for your own crown. I will give you 5 master keys. 5 psychological tactics to destroy that inner servant and awaken the sovereign you were born to be. First key, move like you own the room. Powerful men and women don't storm into a room with noise. They arrive with presence. The kind of presence that shifts gravity. Their power is not in volume, it's in stillness. In their eyes, in their silence. They don't need to prove anything because their entire posture says, "I already know who I am," and the room adjusts accordingly. That's what it means to own the space. Not because someone gave you permission, but because you assumed the role with such certainty that others couldn't deny it. Start with your body. It is your most primal weapon. Walk slower. Slowness signals control. Rushing signals fear. Do not cross your arms like you're bracing for attack. Do not shrink. Expand. Open. Relax your shoulders. Lift your chest. You are not defending yourself. You are commanding the atmosphere. Speak with a voice that drops at the end of your sentences. A rising tone says, "Do you agree with me?" A descending tone says, "This is a fact." Don't seek the energy in a room, generate it. Let others orbit your stillness. This is not about performing for them. It's about broadcasting a message to your own nervous system. We are not prey. We are the storm. As Sartre wrote, man is condemned to be free. And that unbearable freedom scares most people. So they seek leaders, approval, orders, external permission. Burn the leash. You do not need validation. You do not need consensus. Walk like you've already won, not arrogantly, but with the indifference of someone who knows they are not competing because the game was designed for them. They respect you? Fine. They don't? Even better. Indifference to approval is the highest form of control. If the room didn't belong to you when you entered, let them remember it as yours after you leave. Second key. Speak as if you cannot be denied. Words are weapons. Most people speak like they're asking for space. They lace every sentence with qualifiers. I think. I'm not sure. Maybe. Just. That's not speech. That's surrender. The insecure voice laughs nervously, seeks confirmation, dilutes its own impact before it lands. That's not communication. That's camouflage. And camouflage only hides weakness. It does not create power. In power dynamics, the one who speaks least often holds the most weight. Machiavelli observed that in royal courts, the king didn't always rule, but the silent advisor in the corner often did. The one who spoke only when it mattered. Their silence accumulated value. When they did speak, the entire room bent forward. Why? Because the economy of their words had built capital. In your life, the same rule applies. Don't fill the silence. Let others speak first. Let them reveal themselves. Let them prove their hunger. You observe, you calculate, you position. When you finally speak, eliminate softeners. Burn, I think. Kill, just my opinion. Say what must be said and let it hang in the air like smoke in a cathedral. Don't chase reactions. Don't justify your conclusions. Let silence follow. Your words like a blade waiting to strike. That silence is your power. That silence dares others to challenge your certainty, and most won't, because they fear what you'll say next. They fear the depth behind your stillness. Now, if you've come this far, you already feel the shift. You're no longer asking for permission. You're taking position. And if that excites you, if that terrifies you, you're exactly where you need to be. Subscribe now, because this is not a channel, it's a transformation. And in the comments, decree your new identity. I am the king, and my law commands. Say it out loud, write it down. Stamp it into your nervous system. The war has begun. Third key. Annihilate the need to be understood. This is the virus embedded deep inside the modern psyche. The desire to explain yourself, to be seen, to be validated, to have others appreciate your good intentions. This is what makes you controllable. Kill it, burn it out. You were not born to be understood. You were born to move the world around you strategically, surgically, and silently. The moment you begin to explain, you begin to negotiate your power. Power does not negotiate. It positions. It decides. It designs. Emotions are real, but in the realm of power, they are irrelevant unless they are weaponized. Are you angry? Don't explode, refine. Transmute your anger into calculated movement, into a cold campaign of forward motion. Did someone insult you? Don't react. Log the insult as data. What was their motive? What weakness are they hiding? Behind the jab, are they trying to destabilize you? Then you already know you have leverage. Do they doubt you? Don't defend yourself. Use their doubt as silence, and let your results speak a language they can't compete with. This is how powerful people are built. Not robotic, not emotionless, uncheckable. Because once your emotions no longer control your reactions, you become dangerous. Because you are no longer readable, you are no longer baited. You become the force they can't figure out. Others will chase harmony and peace. Let them. you pursue clarity and control. Because the world doesn't care how you feel, it only responds to what you project. Certainty, direction, gravity. And once your identity is no longer for sale, you become unforgettable. Not loud, not famous, but emotionally unreachable. They can't provoke you. They can't shake you. They can't move you because you belong to no one but yourself. That's what creates legends. Not noise, not chaos, but surgical silence, cold clarity, relentless consistency. Fourth key, turn rejection into control. This is where the weak crumble and the strategist sharpens. Rejection is not pain. Rejection is clarity. Most people wander through life in fog, unsure who respects them, who is using them, who is watching. But rejection is a sword. It slices through the illusion and shows you exactly who cannot see your value. And once you see it, you do not collapse. You recalibrate. While others take rejection as evidence of their lack of worth, you take it as information. You refine your positioning. You sharpen your image. You amplify your value so violently through disciplined action that those who once dismissed you now say your name with hesitation. And when they return, and they always return, you won't even have to reject them. You'll have evolved beyond their reach. That's power, quiet, permanent, elegant. Fifth key, weaponize your return. The goal is never revenge. Revenge is hot and emotional. Revenge belongs to the servant. The Machiavellian mind remains cold. The return is never to prove something to them, it's to prove something to yourself. You rise in silence. You build in darkness. And when your presence returns to the same room, the same table, the same world that once underestimated you, it is your silence that speaks loudest. You don't need sarcasm. You don't need ego. A glance is enough. Or better, no glance at all. Because when you re-enter a space as the new standard, you don't need acknowledgement. Their initial rejection already told you they were not qualified to sit beside you. That's the win. Sixth key, reframe the narrative. Rejection only has power if it looks like you were denied something you chased. You must rewrite the story, not for them, but for yourself. You were never rejected. You chose to leave. You observed. You evaluated. You allowed them to say no as a test of their discernment, and they failed. In that failure, they told you everything you needed to know. So now you vanish. You improve. You evolve. Their rejection was not their decision. It was your filter. Seventh key, indifference is power. Reaction is weakness. Every interaction is a chess match. And the other player, whether they know it or not, is always testing you. A passive-aggressive comment, a backhanded compliment, a delayed reply, a dismissive tone. These are not accidents. These are pressure points. They want to see where your skin is thin, where they can extract emotion, where they can destabilize your posture. The servant reacts. The sovereign observes. You don't flinch. You log. You study. You respond with presence, not emotion. Here is their insecurity. Here is their wound. Here is the mask they wear. And then you choose not to respond. You let their move echo in silence. You let their test fail. This indifference is maddening. Their weapon lands and nothing happens. It exposes them. It collapses them. Remember, silence in the face of provocation is not passivity, it's domination. It's the storm crashing against a stone fortress. The storm exhausts itself. The fortress remains. Be the fortress. Eighth key, be formless like water. Machiavelli warned that fortune favors the adaptable. Rigidity is a death sentence in power. The person who clings to one identity, one strategy, one pattern is already defeated. Predictability is vulnerability. True power is fluid. Water has no shape, yet it takes every shape. Water yields to strength, flows into cracks, fills voids. Wears down mountains without effort. Be charming when charm is needed. Be cold when respect must be commanded. Be methodical when precision is required. Be wild when opportunity demands it. Do not marry one mask. Own an entire wardrobe. People crave the predictable. They want to label you. When you cannot be labeled, you become a mystery. And mystery is a kind of fear, a kind of power. They should never know who you are today because that gives them clues about who you'll be tomorrow. Be unreadable. Be fluid. Flow through their systems unseen. And when the moment is right, strike with the weight of a tidal wave. 9th key. Make others come to you, even if it means baiting them. In the game of power, the one who moves first often loses control. Every movement towards someone else reveals intention. It reveals need. It gives the opponent visibility into your strategy. But when they move toward you, they surrender that edge. They reveal their curiosity, their desire, their weakness. That's when you trap them. That's when you win. So don't chase, attract. How? Create a bait so irresistible that it pulls them into your terrain. That bait can be status, opportunity, mystery, the promise of gain, or even the illusion of a weak spot they think they can exploit. Let them think the idea was theirs. Let them believe they're leading. Guide them subtly into your structure where every wall, every trapdoor, every exit is under your control. The true master of power does not break down doors. He leaves a key where others can't resist picking it up, walking through the gate themselves, only to realize they walked into your palace or your prison. 10th key. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. In any group, business, movement, or social circle, power is not evenly distributed. There is always a center of gravity. A figure, not always the loudest, but the one whose presence binds others. The beginner fights everyone. The strategist targets the one, the shepherd. Eliminate that shepherd by discrediting, isolating, or absorbing them, and the entire structure collapses or shifts to your favor. Do not argue with the soldiers. Go straight for the general. Do not waste breath convincing the crowd. Silence the voice that they follow, and they will follow you instead. This is not brute force, it is surgical precision. This is not a brawl, it's checkmate. 11th key. Work in the dark. Let results shine in the light. Loud ambition attracts sabotage. When you broadcast every move, you become predictable. You invite resistance, envy, disruption. The strategist works beneath the radar, in shadows. Like a weapon forged in a secret forge, you build silently. You cultivate alliances under the appearance of normalcy, or even mediocrity. Let them underestimate. You let them laugh. That is your greatest asset. Because when you emerge, it will be like lightning on a clear day. Sudden, unavoidable, too late to counter. That is the essence of power, to appear fully formed when they thought you were asleep. Do not telegraph your rise. By the time they understand your position, your network, your reach, it should already be too late. You're not making noise. You're setting traps. You're not announcing, you're executing. 12th key. Keep them uncertain and suspended in fear. Predictability breeds contempt. When people know how you'll react, they learn how to manipulate you. You must be deliberately unpredictable. One day soft, the next cold. One day generous, the next distant. Speak with power, then fall silent. Smile, then vanish. This calculated unpredictability forces others to stay alert, off balance, fixated. It drains their energy. It keeps their attention. They must never feel comfortable around you. Not because you are cruel, but because comfort kills respect. You are a shifting weather system, one day a calm sky, the next a storm. Let them wonder which version of you they'll face. That wonder becomes a cage. That uncertainty is leverage. It forces them to treat you with careful respect, not out of love, but out of strategy, and that's better. That's control. 13th key. Appeal to their self-interest, never to mercy or gratitude. This is one of the coldest truths Machiavelli ever taught. Do not beg people to help you because they owe you. Don't appeal to past favors. Don't count on their morals or their kindness. These are unreliable currencies. People act out of interest. And when you want something, you must show them why helping you helps them. Make your wins appear like their wins. Frame your ideas so they fulfill their needs. Don't say, "Help me grow." Say, "Here's how this will benefit you." Make your power seem like a rising tide that lifts their boat too. Because when they act from self-interest, they act with conviction. When they act from guilt, they resent it. The true manipulator does not twist arms, he sculpts desire. He plants the idea in others that what you want is what they need. And then he simply steps aside and lets them chase it. 14th key. Use absence to increase respect. What is abundant loses value. This applies to gold, diamonds, and to your presence. If you're always available, always responding, always present, you become common, predictable, taken for granted. You must master the art of strategic withdrawal. Once you've made an impact, once they feel your influence disappear, create a vacuum, make them wonder where you went. Your silence becomes a presence louder than your words. They will remember your absence more than your presence. And when you return, they will see you differently. Scarcity is power. Mystery is gravity. Be like a comet. Rare, bright, impossible to forget, and always gone too soon. 15th key. Disarm your enemies with unexpected generosity. A frontal attack invites equal defense. An insult produces resistance. But kindness, when unexpected, creates confusion. If an enemy expects a strike and receives a gift, their script breaks. They lower their guard. They question your motive. They lose footing. This gift need not be sincere. It is a Trojan horse, a calculated move, a psychological trap. It puts them in emotional debt. And a person in debt becomes cautious, restrained, even afraid. As Michael Corleone said, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And what better way to keep them close than to disarm them with strategic benevolence? Let them wonder why you were kind. That doubt will eat at them. And when the time comes, it will already have softened their will. 16th key. Never reveal your full hand. Mystery is a form of power. The moment people think they know you completely, they stop respecting you. Curiosity dies. Predictability sets in. You become manageable. So speak of your past, but not too clearly. Show your talents, but not all of them. Leave out just enough to make them guess. Be transparent in trivial things. Be impenetrable in what truly matters. Make them speculate. Let them fill the blanks with their imagination. And their imagination will always overestimate you and fear what it cannot see. That you are not a memoir. You are a cipher. A novel with missing chapters. A code with crucial numbers redacted. People do not fear what they understand. They fear what escapes comprehension. In that space, between who they think you are and who you truly are, lies enormous power and perfect freedom. We have walked through fire. We have mapped the psychology of dominance, dismantled the myths of morality, and stared into the abyss of strategic power. But knowledge alone is a paper sword. Unless you wield it, it cuts nothing. You now possess a weapon, and with it, a responsibility. You've seen what others cannot see. You've decoded the performances, the manipulation, the insecurities hidden behind smiles, the strategies behind silence. And once you see the machine behind the mask, the game is never the same. You have two choices now. You can close this and return to comfort, to softness, to a life where you wait for permission. You can keep pretending that being kind will make you powerful, that patience will earn you respect, that playing small will keep you safe, or you can start the war. Not a war of violence, a war of precision. A war against the weakest parts of yourself, the servant voice, the compliant identity, the internal leash. That leash must be burned. That inner child trained to beg for validation must be dethroned. You must become the architect of your mind, the sovereign of your instincts, the quiet commander of every room you enter. And the only way to do that is through action, not noise, not slogans, execution. Begin now, speak slower, stand taller, move with fewer words, withdraw from anyone who drains your power. Reward silence with stillness. Observe more than you. React, let your presence precede your voice. And above all, make no apologies for your gravity. You are no longer one of them. You no longer seek the crown, you realize you were born with it. When they question you, let them. You are not here to be understood. When they envy you, let them. You are not here to be liked. When they try to provoke you, smile. The unmoved mind is the most terrifying weapon on earth. They will talk, they will gossip, they will dismiss you until they can't, until your results speak in thunder, until your absence leaves rooms silent, until your silence becomes unbearable. But even as you rise, remember this: power without restraint becomes addiction. Influence without conscience becomes tyranny. That's the final truth Machiavelli never wrote, but lived. The master of power does not destroy every weakness they see, they choose. They hold, they observe and let illusions persist, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not every truth must be spoken. Not every enemy must be crushed. Not every win must be claimed. True mastery is not just movement, it's knowing when not to move. The highest level of power is restraint. The power to burn without needing to know and not expose. To walk away when you could dominate. Because real kings do not scream, they whisper. They vanish. They reappear only when the world forgets what they're capable of. So before this video fades, before your mind slips back into habit, stamp this moment into your memory. Burn the servant voice. Assume the crown. Rewrite your posture. Retrain your tongue. Withdraw from the noise. And walk into the world, not as a performer, but as the director. And if this message found you at the exact time when you needed it most, it's not a coincidence. It's a signal. Your training has only begun. There are more weapons to forge, more rooms to own, more versions of yourself to outgrow. But you're no longer alone. You've entered the ranks of the quiet strategists, the invisible kings, the architects of influence. So subscribe now, because this is not a channel, it's an arsenal. And if you've walked through all these doors with me, drop your decree in the comments. I am no longer a servant, I am the architect. Say it boldly and say it publicly. Let the world know the war inside you has ended, and that a new ruler has risen. This was never about dominance. It was about clarity. It was about rising above the noise, above the doubt, above the weakness you inherited but never chose. And now that you've stepped into that clarity, now that your posture speaks before your words, your silence cuts louder than their shouting. Your presence rewrites the rules. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Welcome home.